Hey guys, and welcome back to Cooking with Marie. So today, I hope everybody's ready. I am going to be making my very own recipe that I took from several different recipes. We're gonna make chicken gnocchi soup. So let's get started. Okay guys, so now that our potatoes are all finished and we've cooled them to about room temperature, we are going to go ahead and take our ricer and we are going to squeeze all the potatoes through this into our bowl. Okay, so now we have all of our potato ran through the ricer. So now we're going to take our next bowl. And in this bowl, this is where we're going to do the rest of our mixing. Okay, so in this bowl we are going to put 1.5 cups of flour. So there's our 1.5 cups of flour. And then our salt. So we're going to do 1 teaspoonful of salt. And since I only have a 1/4 one, we're going to measure this out here. Okay. It says right here we're going to mix this together. Alright, so we got that part done. Now we're going to add the egg to our potatoes. But before we add our egg to our potatoes, it specifically says to lightly beat the egg first. So you're going to lightly beat your egg first. And that's just to kind of break your egg up so that way it's ready for this. So you're going to add that to your potatoes. We're going to be using that flour here in just a minute. Alright, so with this we're just going to mix all of this together. So now with this we're going to actually add in our flour mixture. Okay, so now at this point we're going to move this thing to our surface. Oh, if it would come with me. It says that your dough should feel slightly delicate at this point, which it definitely does. So we are going to knead this for a second, making sure that it has flour on it. All right. Okay, and now that that part is done, we are going to cover this with a towel, and we'll be back in a little while. Okay guys, so now that we've let our gnocchi sit, I've actually chopped this in half and I made a separate amount because this is definitely going to be a lot for what I'm making. So you're just going to cut some of these off, and then you're going to just going to roll this out, and I'm going to use my dish that I already had the gnocchi in as I was making it, and I'm just going to throw any of our gnocchi that we roll and separate into that bowl. So we're just going to roll this out. You don't want it too thin, and then you're just going to chop this into little pillow-sized. You can also take a fork to these and give them the traditional look, the traditional Italian look. But I kind of like them in the pillow form. They look really cute like this. As you can see, I think that they're really cute when they're like this. I just like the aesthetic of them when you serve the dish. Okay guys, so it's time to start the chicken soup portion of this dish. You do 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. We're going to put it at a medium heat, and we are going to get this going. And in this we are going to add our onion, carrot, and celery. Now, what I do from 2 of the different recipes is I actually do my celery a bit larger than one of the recipes does, and I do shredded carrots as opposed to diced carrots. I just like the look of the shredded carrot better. So we're just going to pour all this in here, and we're going to saute this all together. So once you've sauteed this about 6 minutes, we're going to add your minced garlic. And this is going to be about 3 cloves of minced garlic. Your other vegetables here are going to be about a cup apiece. So about a cup of onion, a cup worth of carrots, and a cup of celery. And you'll do those for 6 minutes, and then you're going to add in your minced garlic. And you're going to do this for about another 3 minutes. Okay, so now your next step after letting this cook for the 2 minutes is to go ahead and add your chicken broth. I just buy whatever one, is available. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the 32 ounces. You can do a little bit less if you like, but I'm just gonna go ahead and just go for it. Oh, that did not pop off like it was supposed to. There we go. All right, so now you've got your chicken broth in there. And this is also where you're gonna add your seasoning. So you're gonna add thyme, nutmeg, and your rosemary. If it'll come up. Okay, and your rosemary. And each of these is gonna be, well, other than the nutmeg, right here we are going to add a half a teaspoon of thyme and rosemary. And you're only going to add about 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. I always add just a little more rosemary just because I really like the taste of rosemary. And the best part about doing recipes like this is you can kind of add in or subtract out certain things that are just not to your liking. So now we're just going to stir these in together. Oh yeah, we can also add our salt and pepper. So let's see here, how much do they say we can use? This is where you're just going to add this to taste. So I always just put some in my hand and then I just pinch it. All right, and then take your pepper. And you're just gonna mix this all together. Am I going to cover this again? Yes. Okay, and then at this point we're going to go ahead and add our chicken. Now I did our chicken earlier. I did our chicken in the crock pot because I did a full-size rotisserie chicken. And so I already cooked it down and now I'm just gonna add that in here. This kind of cuts some of the steps because you can cook this overnight, which is what, like I said, I take several different things from different recipes. So this allows you to cook the chicken overnight, which allows a very deliciously smelling house. And then it's ready the next day. So this way you kind of don't have to cook this as long if you were putting in raw chicken. All right, so now we are going to add this chicken in here. We're going to mix this all together. All right, and back here on this back burner, I'm going to turn this back burner on. We're going to put this one up to about an 8 because we definitely want this to come to a boil. And once this is at a boil, you're going to reduce the heat and you're going to cover it with a lid and let this cook. Okay, so the step next that we're going to do, or the next step I should say, is going to be letting that boil. And now we are going to start our thicker, creamier sauce right here. So we're going to start off with our butter. We're going to melt this butter down. All right, at this point we're going to add in 6 tablespoons of flour. And then we're going to whisk this. So, 1, 2, 3. All right, and at this stage we're going to whisk this because you don't want it to get too clumpy. All right, so this is where you want all this to be mixed up. And then the next step, you're going to add in 2 cups of milk. You're going to do this stirring vigorously to prevent any clumping. So try to do this as quickly as possible. All right, so there is our 2 cups of milk, and now we are going to stir this very vigorously. All right, now this is where you're going to add your salt and pepper. I like lots of pepper, guys, so do as you wish on this portion. And then I just sprinkled just a light amount of salt in there. You can always add a little more salt later if you want. All right, once this is getting to a boil and it's thickening, you're going to add a 1/3 cup of heavy cream. All right, and once you've added your 1/3 cup of heavy cream, then you will take this off of the heat. So moving this back over to this burner so we can see what we are doing. All right, now that our vegetables and our chicken is all cooked together, this is where we will now add our gnocchi in so that the gnocchi will have a chance to cook. So this is where I'm going to come in and just start adding all the gnocchi into the soup. Okay, so once you've got your gnocchi in here, you're going to stir this up, and then you're going to cover this and let that gnocchi cook for about, well, I'm going to say about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. If you buy store-bought gnocchi, go by whatever the package tells you, but this is homemade gnocchi, so it's all raw ingredients. So I'm going to go ahead and do about 10 to 15 minutes on that. So I'm going to cover that and let that cook. Okay guys, now that the gnocchi is cooked, this is where you're going to take and put your cream sauce that you made. I'm going to add this in, I'm going to stir this all up, and then you'll add your spinach at the very end. Alright, so now we're just going to mix this in. I'm going to get all that cream mixture mixed into the soup. I'm going to turn this down. Pretty much turn this off, as a matter of fact. Alright, and now you're going to add in your spinach. This time around I ended up using frozen spinach, guys, so you can choose to use fresh fine cut spinach if you want. I went ahead and just did a packet of frozen spinach. It was more convenient this time around for the video's purposes. And then you're just going to stir your spinach in. If you don't like spinach, you don't have to add it to this. But I can tell you it kind of takes away from the Italian form of the dish. So. And we like our spinach, so this is a good one for us. All right. Finished chicken gnocchi soup. So I hope you guys enjoy, and bon appetit.